Nobody there.
Nobody there.
Nobody there.
Okay, we got something there. What is that? What is that? That we would hear female voices up in this area. When you mentioned the female presence.
Hi everyone, here we are with episode 4 of Twin Ports Paranormal. I'm here with the guys, Harley, Steve, and Rick, and we're going to talk today about their adventure up at the Duluth Airport.
It was a rather thrilling experience to go through the old air hangar. It was built in 1948. It was housing the Commemorative Air Force, which were in a process, and still are in a process, of rebuilding a PBY, World War II aircraft that would land in water, on land, and everything. So they have a lot of memorabilia from as far back as the First World War, and it's full of surprises. It really is. So.
Well, you know, the activities they had there, they said also too that, you know, lights would go on and off, and they'd hear noises, people talking and stuff like that. But
So they were having a lot of activity, and they reached out to you.
even like their tools being misplaced, or, you know, moved around.
Oh, they were big tools. They weren't little pocket tools or car tools
Right.
or stuff. These are aircraft tools, big wrenches, and they'd put them away, and they couldn't find them the next day. And they had a picture of the PBY when it was painted red. It used to have it hanging as you walk through the museum. They would show it would be on the wall. And one day it disappeared, and I think they said it was about a month or so later. They found it underneath a pile of parts by the airplane. Nobody had any idea how it got there, but they've experienced a lot in that building.
So when you compile all the artifacts that were brought in there, it's mind blowing. You know what can follow them. So to have that many artifacts, you're bound to have something attached to them.
Yeah.
So they reached out to you guys.
Yes. And, well, we ended up getting there. I'm going to start off with cameras that we experienced. We have some stationary cameras set up through the area of the hangar and their museum. And at one time we had one camera was just tipped on this counter. You know, Harley goes in there and fixes that. And we started ready to get going on our investigation and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden, another camera went down. This one was on the floor. And so I walked back there, I pick it up, I put it back on this cabinet, far enough back that even if it was a tip, it would stay on the cabinet. And so I had it set up, and I knew I had it really secure. And I started walking back to the monitors, which you go through a little maze through this museum, and I heard the camera hit the ground. And of course, you know, I say, "Oh my God, I can't believe it just happened."
Yeah, you said a lot more than that.
You can't you can't hear what I said.
We'll infer.
Right, but so I go back, and it is on the ground, and so I pick that up and I put it back up, and we head back to the room and look at the cameras. Everything's good. And as the night went on, I was thinking, you know, we gotta energize this place, because that took a lot of energy, probably out of those spirits, to do that stuff. So we use another technique to save our batteries on our recorders and other devices that we use. Harley came up with the idea, and it works great. He has a taser, kicks out like 1,000,000 volts. We zapped that area. We just fed it with a lot of electricity and energy there. And then we actually caught something trying to probably take care of one of our other cameras.
That was the first one we set up.
Yep.
I went in there. I had the camera. I seen it was pushed over. It just gradually just went right down. So I went in there and I picked it back up, and I figured, okay, I'm not going to deal with this. I'm going to brace this thing. I don't know what caused this. So I braced it. I put a cigarette pack underneath part of it too. Just no way it's going to go down. And I looked at it. It's fine. I walked back over, checked the monitor. Looked perfect. Walked back around there and walked away. Well, in the time that I had left to check the monitor and come back, our little spirit come back there was trying to knock that camera down again, and we have that on film.
So this first clip we have here is what you see kind of happening to the camera. It's like literally right in front of the lens of the camera,
Right.
so that's what we're going to show. And there's no audio on this clip, just so you know. Wow.
And you can clearly see that hand.
Yeah, that.
And then
it-
to the right of the screen, you'll start seeing the face and that. Right there.
You could see as it made it swept towards the camera that the surface lightened up.
And on the other side of that cabinet that's there is a wall. So nothing can come out of that, you know, no person, no anything.
Yeah.
That's a wall there.
So this was literally right in front of the camera lens.
Yes.
This is like you
Yes.
just got a camera sitting there, and this
Yeah.
happens right in front of it.
Yeah. And
So
you
we now know who probably was knocking over our cameras that night.
Oh,
You know, it was that.
that was a culprit.
yeah. So somebody's up. Did you guys get any information about who the active person might be up there? Did anybody have any theories about that?
Well, we had a few, but there was a lot of them that came out with broken English, which sounded like German accent. And then we had one EVP that we had a British name. You know, when I asked for a name, it sounded British. And we asked a gentleman, I says, well, who's British around here that's working on these things? And he said, we got nobody British here. He says, come to think of it, he says, the spare motor for the PBY we got came out of South Africa from a British base. So apparently something was attached to that motor and came back.
And this museum up there has artifacts from all of the Allied forces, so
Right.
that would obviously include British
Oh, yeah.
stuff too. So
Right.
cool. So let's now. There's a couple of different buildings and stuff that you guys looked at, and this. Tell us about what we're gonna see in the second clip in the main hangar there.
Okay,
The up.
Yep, we had another camera set in there.
This is a stationary.
And this is
camera.
actually, yep, stationary camera. And actually, it's one building we're in.
Oh,
They
okay,
just had
it's all
a
one.
section made up for the
Okay, gotcha.
museum. And,
And that camera you set up was on a stand, a walk-up ladder.
yeah, it was way up
ladder.
high. We placed this camera way up high.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, just going through the video, you know, we caught this. You'll
So
see
were
it.
you in the room?
No.
When you caught this, or were you in a separate?
Well, we could have been, at that time, we could have been in the museum.
Okay.
We could have been, you know, somewhere else.
But
in
this
that
is
area.
just what your
This is
camera-
just something that we caught after we viewed our cameras later and
Okay.
spotted this.
Yeah. When we can, let's roll that second clip.
It's at the top of the screen. You'll see.
Watch the top of the screen.
There it comes.
Flashing,
There it is.
and it's moving. That's so weird.
Mm-hmm. And there it comes towards the camera.
Wow, that's wild.
We also that particular night we had a thunderstorm going on. You know, so we had a lot of there's a lot of electricity in the air. Also, that's probably
We got a
helping us
couple
out that night.
really crazy EVPs that we're going to have to bring on in the future.
Okay.
You know, we got to bring this back because they are unbelievable. Just to hear what the screaming and like it sounded like gunfire in one of these EVPs. So in the future, I think we're going to be extending on this.
Oh, okay.
And we'll be able to bring some of that in.
It's like it was just playing the history. It's like what was actually happening
Hearing
at that
like
moment.
a recording.
Yep.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So we've got a still picture coming up here, and this is the cases also have, in addition to Allied artifacts and memorabilia in the museum, they also have Nazi memorabilia and artifacts.
Right, and
in the
then
museum.
none are divided. They're just all put in an order, so you can see British, American. They got one of them have Canadian. It's worldwide, and then we have the Nazis is located in that particular case, all on the left half down. And we're referring to that ring. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Well, that ring was the it's a Viking squadron, I believe it was. And they were in charge of the concentration camps. And as we were told, they were made from the silver of the Jews' teeth.
Oh Lord.
So it's a pretty crazy thing. Rick experienced something in there that you never see Rick ever come down to a point where he just has to get out of there for a reason. In this particular case, he felt like he was surrounded by 100 people, just enclosed in that area, in that room.
It's totally claustrophobic, and I was the only one in the room, and like Harley says, I don't leave rooms, but I just told him I gotta get out of here. You know, the feeling that I was going through.
Well, I can't imagine the kind of negative energy that's attached to an object
Yeah.
like that, made out of, you know,
Right.
people's, yeah, that's just too awful. Let's show that still if we can. And this is the ring. You can see that they've co-opted this image, this Viking image, which is really interesting.
You see the swastika on there, though.
Yeah. And this was the squadron that was specifically in charge of concentration camps.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, there's some powerful negative energy attached to something like that. I'm not surprised that you felt
Oh, yeah.
weird about that. So, the next clip we have, let's set this up a little bit for people, because this is your gal, Sammy, who is a psychic medium. And she sort of reacts to something that she doesn't see. And so when you see her react to it, it's something that the camera sees, but she doesn't, she's not seeing at the moment, but she feels something.
Yes.
And you can...
And she's also in that German room. We called it the German room. That's where that ring is. You know, and other.
Yeah, in
stuff that
reference
was-
to that ring also, Rick, that is where, if once she plays this, she'll be able to, well, do we have the EVP on that? Or
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do. After
okay,
that comes
yeah,
after the
yeah.
clip of Sammy.
Yeah, and we've got that on recording. Okay.
So let's roll that clip number 5 there. That
And that's
EVP.
Sammy right there.
Yeah, and there's no audio here also, but she's right by this case with the rings.
Yes.
The recorder is on the table right behind
Look
her.
at that.
See?
Yep, that thing. She was shaking her,
You see
feeling
her
something,
react
touching her.
to that orb, which she doesn't see, but you can see her kind of shift and move. Interesting.
Yeah, the recorder was directly behind her on that table. There you see the papers on there, and there was a recorder. That's where we got the EVP that follows this.
Oh, okay.
So,
Now, you guys were. How long were you at this place? How long were you up there? Would you say?
6 hours, 7 hours.
Yeah, 6, 7 hours.
There's a lot of ground to cover.
Yeah.
So it's all one huge building, but there's parts of it, the part of it that's kind of set aside for this museum.
Right. They have divided walls in there and stuff, different rooms they made.
Okay.
So
But it's basically all one
It
huge
all-
space. It's all this 1948 hangar, right?
Yes.
So, just quick to tell folks, do you guys know what was this hangar used? Was this an active hangar in 1948?
yes, it was. It was used for if the Air Force was about that time or not. If it was Army Air Corps, I'm not exactly positive.
Right.
But they did. There was base there. They did work on planes there.
Okay.
And of course, later in the years, you know that it would turn into an Air Force base, and now it's combined Army Air Force with the National Guard type thing going on there.
Yeah.
So
And also, a lot of the stuff that was in this hangar has been moved out of the hangar now, correct?
correct. Yeah, they had to vacate and go to another facility, and it's over in Superior right now. That's where their aircraft is and the work that they're doing. They do have some things there, but the majority of their stuff now is at the Bong Memorial.
Okay.
You can go there. You can see the ring is there. Goering's lap warmer, his wife's mink coat, and all kinds of memorabilia, all kinds of uniforms from the different from American and on down through the Nazis and everything.
So you can see this stuff at the Bong Museum now.
Right.
The stuff that was in this hangar.
Yeah. There's a few things that I know there's some Smithsonians are trying to get from them, but they're not parting with it.
Okay.
You know, that's all like, you know, Goering's personal article, you know, that was Hitler's right-hand man. And there's the uniforms, I get a real bang on the uniforms because, you know, normally you see uniforms that are green or brown or whatever else. And some of them dress uniforms that the Nazis wore, the flyers, I can't pronounce it, but they were white or an off-white. So it's just amazing how what they had worn in their time and what they were used to representing themselves. So,
So do you think now you're going to have to? Okay, so how long do you think it'll be? Do you think you're going to get a call from the bong saying, you know,
I doubt it.
no?
I don't know.
So you think taking it out of that environment where
It'll eventually create something. Something will happen. It will happen. It just
It
might
may
take
have
time.
already happened.
Yeah,
It may happen.
it's just some people don't want to call people that haven't investigated. They want to make something out of it, so
yeah.
they'll just deal with it.
Okay. All right. So the next thing we have is an EVP, and this follows directly on the shot that we just saw, right? With
Yes.
Sammy.
Yes.
So why don't you guys give a little background on that?
Well, she asked a question about the ring. As far as for the answer that was given,
We may have been wrong with the answer because
Yeah.
you said
We heard two different things.
Yeah.
Right.
You guys heard one thing. Liz and I, the other employee, one of the other employees here at PACT, we listened to it. We heard a different thing. We heard the word sorry, and you guys heard so
what?
So what?
So, hey guys, if you're out there listening to this, hey, don't be afraid to take a stab at it.
Yeah, chime in and chime in on our Facebook page. I'll put up the question later in the video. So yeah, tell us what your vote is. So what or sorry? Let's play that EVP when we can.
All right. This one here was in the German room, and Sammy was asking questions, and in the cabinet was this ring, and she was talking about that. So here, I'll let you hear this.
Is there something special about this ring?
That sorry in there when it's slow.
And it could be sorry, yeah.
So yeah, the jury's still out. We'll
Yeah.
see. I mean, it definitely could be either. I can hear you that it could be so what too. But if you think about the context there,
Yes, yeah.
it seems like it's possible that it could be sorry. I don't know. We'll see what folks say on Facebook. We'll run that one up the flagpole online and
Yeah,
see
it'd
see
be
who gets the
interesting to
most
see what
votes.
people here.
Yeah.
The next EVP is Ron was on the investigation with us, and there's a helmet that's located in one of those cases. It kind of reminds me of the question. I don't know if he was near that or not, but it looked like something had pierced it, and I guess the individual did die. But
Was that an Allied helmet or
it was a Nazi first response.
a Nazi? Okay.
And Ron asked the question. It's pretty basic and simple. How did you die? And listen to the response.
Okay. Well, let's play that EVP when we can.
All right, this one here, Ron, one of our investigators, was asking a question, and we got a response. What we're going to do is play this at normal speed till we get to that point, and then we're going to slow down that section because it comes in a lot more clear. So here we go. Okay.
How did you die?
And that's clear.
Yeah, that sure sounds like grenade.
Again, that was in that German room.
Yeah.
You know, we got a lot of stuff in that German room. It was very active.
So, so yeah, and this is, but all the stuff's together, right? All the Allied stuff and all the Nazi stuff.
Right,
It's in cases together.
See, like in one room they had the Japanese room. That was all segregated from the other side. On the other side they had models of planes and they had Canadian uniform.
Sure.
And then when you go into they did have other military uniforms through the pathways, but this one here, the case itself with the ring, they had all the Allied hats and stuff and memorabilia on one side of the case, and the other one was Nazi. It was on the left side of the case, and there's no plate in between them. There's absolutely nothing blocking that little system.
Right.
So when we get to that next EVP, we were in the next room. We were over by the Japanese room, and we were talking amongst ourselves. You could hear us rattling over there, like whatever. But you'll hear what this voice has to say, and it sounds American.
So you think this is an American responding to being
In the case.
in the case with the Nazi
Because that
stuff?
case, remember what I said about where Sammy was? The recorder was right behind her. That's the same recorder that we caught this on.
Okay, and you guys are in a kind of in a different area.
Just a
with
little,
different
little
area,
ways
yeah.
away, yeah.
Okay. Well, let's play that last clip if we have that one.
Okay, we were in the hangar area, and we're discussing some things as usual. And out of the German room, which is on the other side of the wall, we got a response. Actually, we were told something, so I'm gonna let it play through. So just hang on.
Wow, that seems really clear to me.
Yeah.
Get me out of here.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of very clear EVPs, good Class A's, and you could tell it's from different countries and different things that have happened. In the future, we'd like to bring some of the stuff out.
There's so much
There
that we
is.
got out of this place that,
So you've
this
got-
is nothing compared to what
You've got lots more clips
Yeah.
of your time
we
there.
could probably do an hour and a half on
Yeah.
this, just that hangar alone.
Yeah.
Wow, and you guys were there. Ron was there. Sammy was there. Kind of had your whole team.
Steve hadn't joined us quite yet at that time.
Oh, that
wasn't there.
was pre-Steve.
He should have
okay.
been there. He should have been
Okay.
there. He'd have drawn something.
Yeah, Steve is the magnet.
He is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they, just so you know, I don't know, just so our audience knows, they sent Steve into a place first by
Along
himself.
with Sammy, if,
Yeah.
if she's with us at the
with,
moment.
with
Yeah.
Sammy if she's there, and they just go through and kind of try to find the hot spots and kind of
A lot of times, Sammy and I can actually validate what each other are feeling. I'll feel it, I'll sense it. Sammy will actually hear it or know what's around. So we validate each other.
wow.
It's a lot of fun.
Okay, so we may have a follow up to this episode because apparently a lot happened up at this hangar.
I believe it would fit, and we
Yeah.
did. It would, because there was just with the quantity of everything that we've got and the way they had everything all organized in there, and where we were getting things. Like I said with the last EVP, we were in the next room over. You could barely hear us talking, but then you could hear that voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is one of our earlier investigations too, where we didn't have the handheld. So we do have other videos of our stationary cameras.
Okay.
Without the sound.
Yeah.
But we have other things that could be seen.
Well, and I think it's really interesting that the taser thing that you guys do, which I think is that's a really interesting idea because you're actually pumping
Yes.
energy into a space.
And it also saves on our batteries. We go through a lot of batteries and feeding it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're not drying off.
they're
our
not
equipment.
drying so much off our equipment.
Interesting.
It was that taser. If we have an EVP with that we could bring forward, we'll play it. It sounds like it's going off underwater,
Yeah.
like heavy water bubbling, like a acid, just a garbling. So you'll hear it on there the next time. And it's first time we heard it, Rick was saying, "What's that?"
Yeah.
That was the taser.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It makes a weird sound.
Weird sound.
Really.
Yeah.
So okay, we may have a follow up on this episode
Yes.
later on. But let's just take a quick minute and talk about what do you guys think is going to be our next show here? What's going to be episode 5? Where are we going?
Oh, well, we're going back to the hangar for starters. That we'd like to get more of that out of the way so people could see, what kind of history that they've housed in that building for so long. And as far as for the future, well, we've got some things lined up, and some local, and that way we'll be able to keep filing in. We're still looking for investigations, in the future here. There are some things that are in process. Rick's found out some information. Steve was working on something.
Along with Marty.
Yeah, and along with Marty. So it's some of these investigations we'd like doing personal homes and helping them, but some of these things have gotten bigger than we imagined. So
Okay.
It'll probably, eventually it's going to be one of the homes that
Yeah.
we've done. you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but you think our next episode? Are you saying our next one is going to be more hangar stuff, or are you
I
going
think
to
it's
go
going to be.
somewhere else
I think
first?
it'd probably be a good idea to catch up on the hangar.
I think so. I think we should, we can get this hangar complete and out of the way, and then we'll move on to probably one of
Okay.
our homes that we've
So we
done.
might have part 2 of the airport hangar, 1948 commemorative hangar. But next, and then after that, we'll see what happens.
Yes.
And to all the guys down there at the commemorative hangar and all they're trying to do for these airplanes and people that come in to enjoy their memorabilia, best of luck to them. Keep up the good work.
Yeah. All right. So that's it for episode 4. I'm Victoria Main. Thanks for joining us. See you next time.